So you want to be a millionaire? This video answers the 5 questions every prospective millionaire is asking, and perhaps you're on the way to becoming a millionaire, but can you stay a millionaire? You know, many of us are surprised that the ranks of millionaires are growing at a fast pace, and the place to become a millionaire is the United States. 40% of all millionaires in the world are in the U.S., beating Japan, China, Great Britain, France, Germany, Canada, Italy, Australia combined. And this is according to the Wealth of Common Sense blog. Today, we will answer the 5 key questions every prospective millionaire is asking. Who qualifies? How can I become a millionaire? Will my money last? How much can I spend? And what is rich? What's a rich life? Number 1, who qualifies as a millionaire in the U.S.? Well, check this out. 16 million American families are true millionaires as of 2022, up from 9.8 million in 2019, according to the Federal Reserve's Consumer Finance Survey and the Wall Street Journal. How is this happening? The majority of millionaires are homeowners, and slowly but steadily, they contribute parts of paychecks through their employer-based retirement accounts on a monthly basis. No matter what the stock market is doing, they are investing for future goals. Some of these are decades away. Now, this kind of wealth is not just excess savings sitting around, but this is real wealth that is likely to keep growing and reach millionaire status with a steady single or dual income set of contributions. Also, 90% of U.S. millionaires say they own stocks. And age has something to do with this too. Time and compounding create financial miracles and millionaires. Consider this, only 1% of U.S. families under 35 are millionaires. But by ages 55 through 64, 21% are. And like my colleagues, Melody Hobson and John Rogers at Ariel Capital Management like to say, slow and steady wins the race. Here's some big news. More American households than ever own stocks, per that Fed survey. On What's Next with Money, we promote ways and give you insights in how to build ownership and net worth in many of our over 100 programs. Yes, wealth as measured by your net worth, when it's a simple calculation, it's all assets minus all debts and liabilities, and that equals your net worth. So what are parts of ownership? Big parts of ownership. There's stocks, ETF, exchange traded funds, mutual funds, CDs, certificates of deposit, bonds. Much of this held in retirement assets like 401ks and IRAs. Plus, real estate is huge, mainly through home ownerships. And perhaps you've converted the first house you've owned to a rental property. And even if you want diversification and exposure to real estate, you can buy securities through REITs, real estate investment trusts. Then there's the huge category of small business. So those are the big 3, kind of equities, bonds, and cash, the financial assets, real estate, and finally, small business. So the increase in stock ownership has the potential to create a new generation of investors and millionaires. Fidelity and Schwab have both introduced fractional shares. You know, some of the great companies have decided not to or rarely split their stock to make buying one share more affordable. You take, for example, Berkshire Hathaway. Their B shares that they actually do split from time to time, as of this taping, are trading at $356 per share. The legendary A shares, which is one share of the original Berkshire Hathaway company, has never been split. One share trades for $530,000, over $500,000. And just down the road from where I'm taping, Chipotle Mexican Grill, the founding store, they rarely split their shares Chipotle CMG is trading right now at $2,300 per share. But you can now buy fractional shares through many brokerage firms and get a piece of that and not be put off by those high prices. Now, combining recent stock market and home price gains, American household net worth, and this is great news, jumped 37% from 2019 to 2022. And we know the pandemic had something to do with this. Our savings was lifted, there was inflation in home prices, and the stock market kind of recovered from the initial shock of the pandemic. This is the largest increase in the Fed survey history. And you're watching What's Next with Money, a program with smart insights to guide your financial decisions. Number 2, how can I become a millionaire? Well, the best way, and we have several videos on this because we focus on ownership and net worth growth, called Think Rich, Net Worth Equals Net Wealth, and Secrets of Successful Wealth Building. But the best way is a long-term plan, a boring plan, ladies and gentlemen, a boring plan to enter the growing upper middle class by building those retirement accounts that you get through work, getting that match and staying into it, not borrowing from your 401k, but also saving outside of work in a Roth IRA. And maybe if you have a small business or a gig, a SEP IRA, Simplified Employee Pension, SEP IRA account, and of course the big one, home ownership with a reasonably priced mortgage. And this will help you engage in long-term, and this sounds kind of weird, but home ownership is, through mortgages, is long-term forced savings and growth in equity. And of course, to put a nice topping on all of this, a good job that is fulfilling with growth prospects absolutely helps. And you can reinvent yourself and to keep current, to stay employed and to grow employment prospects. This is like getting training, certifications, even degrees if necessary, and using employee benefits to help you pay for that. And this all gets us to closer to millionaire status. And we also have videos on how not to blow what you are accumulating, like our problem gambling and My Lottery fantasy videos. Now, the cool thing about slow, boring wealth accumulation, unlike fast money or big windfalls, where lottery winners often go broke several years after getting their winnings, slower wealth is stickier because it does not hit you all at once. You get accustomed to it in small doses versus big shocks to the system, according to Ben Carlson of a Wealth of Common Sense blog. Here are other tips to become a millionaire in the making. And don't forget those other forms of real estate like rental property beyond your home ownership, perhaps hanging on to your first home and turning it into a rental. And we have a video on making money from your first house. And then starting a business, but also investing in companies and stocks that you know well from your region or your expertise. Now, this is beyond your retirement savings, and the buying of those companies is likely to be in a brokerage account or maybe a Roth IRA. Now, see our 2 videos on invest in what you know. Slow and steady, and even getting little things right, like not borrowing from that 401k, making sure with each job change you are rolling the 401k over into an IRA, or in some cases, right into the new company's plan so you don't lose track of it. You keep building the compounding, getting the full company match. And then, of course, once you fulfill this, the great strategy and plan would be to open up a Roth IRA. You fill up the Roth IRA, and then maybe you go back to the 401k and do the full contribution over time beyond the match. And always look for lower investing costs and expenses. And don't trade or try to time the market, like going in and out, especially with your retirement money. Keep investing when the market is lower. You're getting stocks on sale, and folks, more shares at a discount. And stay in the market long term. You and we, and I've done this, and it's taken emotional maturity over time. We can ride out and profit from market downturns. During the Great Recession in 2008, I had some extra cash. Did not want to look at my then not so good looking brokerage or retirement account balances, so I ignored those. But I invested more, for example, and bought more Berkshire Hathaway stock, the B shares, the lower cost shares. And I did that when the market was literally tanking. It's almost like a default pathway of investing. And I'm glad I did. I still did not look at some of those statements for months, but I did notice the rapid increase in the number of shares owned in my 401k during those record market lows that lasted many, many months. I was steady and aggressive then, and it is still paying off. Plus, we always have to keep our debt under control. Here's question number 3. Will my money last? Now, according to many CFP professionals and the Wealth of Common Sense blog by Ben Carlson, a good rule of thumb for retirement is a goal. You've got to replace 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income. If you save a lot in the 401k and IRA while you're working full-time, you've actually practiced this. You have less money down the road that you have to replace in retirement. You may already be living on 70 to 80% of your income because you're investing the rest. Now, of course, divorce, illness, disaster, fraud, disability might create some setbacks. That can be overcome given enough time. According to Ben, if you are determined and a regular steady and saver, you may be at that super savings threshold. And thus, right now, you know what it's like to live on that lesser part of income. Plus, keeping your investment costs low through index fund, target date funds, and not trading the market with retirement assets helps. Here are a few other considerations and some of the common best practices of merging millionaires, or as noted by my friend Kelvin Boston, the PBS host of The Color of Many. He calls them millionaires in the making. Here's the first one. Most retirees have their mortgages paid off. Thus, they can lower their living expenses. Next, spending actually peaks for many households and families ages 41 through 56. And then once you hit ages 57 through 75, spending is lower. And it's even lower than for younger folks ages 25 through 40. And another point, taxes may be lower for most retirees, and you're pulling in Social Security. But keep in mind, if you've saved a lot and have big IRA balances, taxes can still be significant in retirement. Next, bottom line, many retirees and those who reach millionaire status actually have a hard time spending money because they may not feel wealthy or think they might run out of money, according to Ben Carlson. So if you're getting value from this video, be sure to hit that subscribe. Smash that like button. This moves our content to more folks. Number 4, how much can I spend? Now, a common rule of thumb or technique many CFP professionals advise is the 4% annual withdrawal rate once you're in retirement, say from IRAs and 401ks. If you're using a portfolio of 60% equities or stocks and 40% bonds and some cash equivalents, like high-paying CDs, this is called a 60-40 portfolio, and that's how this is measured. Michael Kitces, a well-known thought leader for financial advisors, has looked at studies and says that, you know what? 2/3 of retirees might finish their retirement with double their wealth just using this 4% withdrawal rate. Back to that idea of it's hard to spend money once you've accumulated it. But let's look at actual decisions you might make that impact your retirement millionaire spending. Here's a really great curated set of questions to determine how much you can spend in retirement. And it's all based on personal factors and your intent with your retirement savings. This is by famed economist and UCLA professor of behavioral economics Shlomo Bernartze, as presented in the Wall Street Journal in 2022. Here's the first, health. How would you describe your health status? Now, the answer to this question touches on longevity, and the better your health, likely the longer you will live and the longer your money needs to last. But on the contrary, in the converse, poor health may mean higher medical bills and expenses. The next one, retirement timing. At what stage are you thinking about retiring? Now, this is a huge decision with big financial consequences. Working longer, even if it is a 1 or 2 year period or part-time work, and retiring later can mean more options, choices, and flexibility in retirement planning and spending. Next, Social Security. When are you planning on claiming Social Security? Now, when you start Social Security is complex, and we have an excellent video, When to Start Social Security, and we'll have a link. This explains the several choices you have. And remember, claiming anything before age 67, which is full retirement age, is considered early retirement. And if you work and you're taking Social Security during that time before age 67, there are some tax penalties. Plus, that Social Security check is generally lower because you took Social Security a little early. In fact, every year you delay claiming Social Security from early retirement age, 62, to 70, that Social Security paycheck permanently goes up 8% each year. Next issue, risk tolerance. Here we've got 3 basic choices. I want to be low risk in my investments, which means the smallest monthly income and the safest plan, or I want moderate risk, which is an average of the above, or high risk, which is the largest monthly income and the riskiest plan. You know, the more you spend down your retirement savings at a fast pace, you might increase the risk of outliving savings. So much of this answer is personal, and getting help from a CFP professional would be a smart move here, as with the other questions. And see our financial planning video on why financial planning matters. Next, it's about spending over time. And we have 3 choices here as well. Spending more earlier or later in retirement, or kind of the same from year to year. And this again depends on personal factors, various sources of steady income, spousal strategies of income, assets, how long you are working, and your health, plus all the other factors listed. And here again, check out and see a CFP professional. And finally, we have bequests. How interested are you leaving a bequest? And this could be to charity, your children, your family, or a combination. It depends, but this number or numbers should be changed based on the other factors listed, and perhaps your main goal is to be financially independent in retirement. Now, in thinking about bequests, do not sacrifice basic money management for yourself and spending on yourself. And this could mean home and care upkeep, or spending on your health to not be a burden on your family. You know, the bequest spending can come after these, because your family will remember that you did take care of yourself, and you're going to have a longer time with your family. Here's question number 5, our final question. What is rich? What's a rich life? You know, it's different for many folks. It could be high income. It could be your net worth, the amount you spend, how money makes you feel, the time freedom you get with money, the extraordinary life you can craft with choice to be able to chart your own course. Well, for me, I'm kind of firmly in the net worth, the money feeling, and the chart your own course zone. In fact, this What's Next with Money channel is a product of smart investing and my ability to chart my own course. This is why we do not have to make money from this channel and let it be non-commercial. The money's already made, and I write and share these programs and pay for expert production for you as an education public service. For me, net worth is measurable, and I am competing against myself like I do as a drummer, swimmer, and snowboarder. But for some, rich is measured in income, where they can benchmark it against others. Now, Ben Carlson says if you spend a lot of time worrying about money, you're not wealthy. And he also likes to have enough money to stop working and to keep the same standard of living. And there are many other definitions of a rich life through best practices. Here are a few. An old saying is good financial planning is three things: save and invest, don't spend more than you make, and don't do anything stupid. Others might say live below your means, pay yourself first, save for emergencies, get appropriate insurance to cover risk, invest for the long term. Here's a big one: avoid divorce, grow your marketable skills through training, reading, and networking, plus stay out of consumer debt, focus on experiences, give to others, and own a home. You know, the cool thing about humanity is that we're generally never satisfied. We have ambitions and look forward. We grow, change, invent, learn, create, and yes, we want to grow income and or net worth for more choices, time, and family security. So keep striving, as we're wired as a species to do, but save, give, and grow along the way. You may just end up a millionaire, and if you are one, you're going to stay a millionaire. So be sure to hit that subscribe and smash that like button. I'm Brent Neiser, looking to see you next time on What's Next with Money, and be sure to check out our video, Think Rich.